Hello, and welcome back to the course on the Project Management Body of Knowledge, or PMBOK 5th Edition course. The videos in this module will give you an overview of the 8th knowledge area of PMBOK, Project Risk Management. As you can imagine, all projects have some elements of uncertainty about them, and that is where project risk comes in. There can be individual risks within each process or step of a project, and these can accumulate to create overall project risk. Essentially, this knowledge area focuses on helping us to understand what is needed to identify risk events, how to analyze and understand them, and how to develop strategies for handling them. Now, many organizations today are putting more emphasis on risk management to assist in reducing the number of reported project failures. A well-developed risk management plan should mitigate the risk for the project failure. Let me ask you this. Who do you think should be involved in managing risks in an organization? That's right. Managing risks includes all of us. All employees or project team members are responsible for managing risks. Okay, let's get started. Let's now talk about what we mean by risk management. Risk management refers to a principled approach and process to the tasks of identifying and assessing risks, and then planning and implementing risk responses. Risk refers to an uncertain event or condition that, if it occurs, has a positive or negative effect on one or more of the project objectives, such as scope, schedule, quality, or cost. The key here is uncertain. Uncertain means that they may or may not actually occur. These are surprises, and some surprises are pleasant and some are not. Not all risk is bad. For example, suppose you were planning an event for the public and it was so successful that twice as many people attended than expected. A good turnout is positive. However, if we had not planned for this possibility, we would not have had the resources available to meet the needs of these additional people in a timely manner, and the positive can quickly turn into a negative. That is why it is so important to identify all risks in the early stage of your project. Finally, it is important to know the difference between risks and issues. Issues are things, events that we can define and even anticipate. For example, we know that a contract is expiring. Risks, however, are the future uncertainties in the project. For example, a risk could be that the employees will go on a strike. One other term you'll want to know as we go forward is utility function or utility theory. This is used to measure stakeholder risk tolerance and defines the level or willingness to accept a risk. The three categories of utility theory are risk-averse, risk-neutral, and risk-seeking. In general, we know that stakeholders have different viewpoints and attitudes towards risk, and obviously the amount at stake affects the decision-maker's attitude toward risk. Higher rewards may make higher risks more acceptable. Factors that are used to categorize risk are risk event, probability, and impact. Risk is measured by the combination of the probability of a perceived threat or opportunity occurring, the P, and the magnitude of its impact, in other words, the I, on objectives. The accumulation of all the risks makes up the risk exposure of a project or an organization. For example, in the Army, the probability of an injury, such as a non-swimmer getting into trouble during a river crossing, may be likely, and the severity of the outcome could be catastrophic. The overall risk would be considered extremely high. Of course, we can change the probability of a catastrophic event by not allowing the swimmer in the water during the training exercise or assigning a buddy to help him cross. By changing the probability of the event occurring, we can reduce the overall risk to a medium risk. Ultimately, our goal is to reduce the probability of a hazard turning into an accident and to limit the consequences of an accident if it occurs. Here you can see an overview of project risk management and all of its processes, as well as how those processes relate to each other. These processes include plan risk management, identify risks, perform qualitative risk analysis, perform quantitative risk analysis, plan risk responses, and monitor and control risks. As in the other knowledge area modules, the processes in project risk management all have sets of inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs, which we call ITTOs for short. And in the following videos, I'll walk through and explain those key ITTOs for you. So meet me in the next video and we'll get started on risk management's first process.